Hey guys, welcome to the homestead. So I'm out here just walking the land. I'm actually looking for turkey tail mushrooms again, and thought I'd just kind of give you a look and see about what some of the things I'm seeing. There's some cherry trees. That's a cherry tree. That's a big cherry tree. That's a cherry tree right there. We got on this side of the mountain. We have a good amount of cherry trees that are here. One of these days, I'm gonna cut them down and put these on the sawmill, because cherry wood around here gets a pretty high dollar value. I don't know who I'd sell it to yet, but I know the trees are here. I'm looking for turkey tails too while I'm out walking around. That is not a cherry. This is an oak that fell over. This was standing up a couple years ago. Ooh, look at that. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, you see this just kind of broke off and fell over. It had been dead for a couple years. This one here that's shooting out like that, that's probably going to fall over. It's probably going to break away and fall over too, and it might kill this tree. But and it's got these growths on it. Let me show you these. I can't know if you can see that up there. There's growths on it. There's one here on this tree too. See that? I don't know if you can see that growth that's right there. I'll give you a better picture, but this tree here is covered with them up top. And I'm told that that's sort of a fungus, a type of mushroom. I'm also told they're worth money, that people will buy them. Let me go show you the one that fell. Let me show you this one here. I learned about these as a kid a long time ago, and I learned that it eventually kills the tree. So here's one right here. See that? See that growth on top of there? Let me get real close up to it. This right here. What happens is it starts off and then it wraps itself around the tree and kills it. Now, I don't know a lot of details about it. I'm pretty sure it's a fungus, a mushroom actually of some sort, and that it's worth money. Now, I've been told, I don't know how true this is. People can correct me if you guys know more about this than I do. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm told that it's worth money because it's pretty wood. It's very woody, and you can cut into it, and it makes nice things. I don't know. I'm told that the woodiness of it is the reason why it's worth money. So I don't know much about these, what they're called. I've tried to Google it several times. I can't find any information about it. But that tree right there that it broke away from, there's tons of them all the way up. And there's even a lady around here. She also searches for mushrooms. She searches for these too, and she sells them on eBay. So the lady's a little bit strange. She's a little strange. She's an interesting lady, but I'm not sure what the value is in these things. If I ever see her again, I'm gonna have to, ask her. But also on these newly down trees, usually this is where you'll find turkey tail or other type mushrooms growing. Oh, look, there's some over there. So let me show you. These are false turkey tails. These are not real turkey tails. These are false. So you see those? These are false turkey tails, and you know, number one, because on the back side they're brown. Okay, a real turkey tail will be white. Let me show you a real turkey tail. I got one in my pocket here. Oh, let me get my keys out of the way. Okay, here we go. These are real turkey tails, and you can tell because they're white and they're polypores. There's lots of tiny, tiny pores on the back of them. And so, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're white, and I dropped one. And these are highly medicinal. I don't think there's a mushroom in the world that's been studied as much as these have. So anytime I find them, I pick them, and you can make tea with them. They're not edible. They're not poisonous. In fact, I don't think there are any polypores that are poisonous. If you find a polypore, they're usually used for medicinal reasons. So reishi mushroom is a polypore, turkey tail is a polypore, and a whole bunch of others. But that's a false turkey tail right there. It's false. Number one, you can tell because it has no pores in the back and it's brown on the back. And it's real thin. These also have a almost like a felt-like top. Kind of felty. Okay, let me find the one I dropped. There it is. Okay, put it back in my pocket. And, but I always look. Another thing about turkey tails is they grow in florets. They grow in like clumps of florets. And these kind of grow in a floret here. But again, these are false because they're brown and there's no polypores on the back. But they kind of look similar. So what we're looking for is the real thing. Okay, so we're back on the trail here. I'm going to keep looking. There's another cherry tree over here that kind of fell down. Now, for those of you wondering, these types of cherry trees are not the kind of trees that produce cherries. I assume they do produce some cherries, but they're not like the edible kind. They're not like the kind you buy in the store for fruit. But these trees are awesome for smoking, for barbecues. People use a lot of hickory or mesquite, but you can also use cherry wood. Produces a really good flavorful smoke. And so, but this one's still alive. It's still connected to the ground. It's bent over, and there are now branches shooting up from it. It's still alive, it hasn't died yet, although one of those branches definitely looks like it has a lot of moss on it. So that branch may be dead, but the main trunk is still alive. Let's continue our search for the turkey tail. There's a hole. That's something. Doesn't look like there's anything living in it now, but something was living in there. Another thing about turkey tails that I've learned is that they don't grow on they grow on dead trees, right? But they don't grow on dead trees that have been down for years. So like that tree over there, it's dead, laying down. You won't find any turkey tails on it. It's been there for a few years. All the nutrients that the turkey tails and other mushrooms would use would grow on. It's all been used up. All the nutrients in the tree has been used up. So right now it's just decaying and will eventually turn back to dirt. But on trees that have been down for a year or so, those you will find mushrooms and different things growing out of it. This tree also, again, been down for years. Nothing's going to grow on it. You want to find trees that have been down for a year or thereabouts. Now, a little ways down here, there is a tree. We did a video on it a couple years ago, or about a year or two ago maybe, that's got a beehive living in it. And I'm going to go see if they're still alive. We tried to put a box out to catch the bees, hoping they would move into the box from a nearby beekeeper, but they never really took to it. So we're going to see if there's bees still inside that tree. Okay, so here's another tree. This one still has its bark on, so you know it hasn't been dead too long. It may have been down for close to a year, maybe more. But the bark is still on it. It hasn't completely eroded away, and it's got these mushrooms on it. Now this one is also not a turkey tail, even though when you pick one, it's kind of white on the underside, but it doesn't have, here, let me see if I can get a better one here. This is not a polypore. It's got these like fuzzy ends on the bottom of it, and not a polypore, okay? Also doesn't look like a real turkey tail. I mean, it kind of has that same design, sort of, but it's not growing in florets, really, and it doesn't have the polypores, even though the bottom is white, okay? So you want to make sure you know what a polypore is. And, of course, never eat a mushroom that you don't 100% know what it is. Never use it for medicine, or never eat it until you make sure you know 100% what it is. Because, you know, it might kill you. And that would be bad. So, over here, there's some other ones. Now, these also are not turkey tails. Again, not exactly white on the bottom, on the underside. and they don't have that felt like, you know, these, mostly the false turkey tails like this one. This is a false turkey tail. They're really thin, and there's no felt, and again, there's not white on the bottom, not pure white. It should be pure white, and you should be able to absolutely see the polypores on the bottom side. So, but where these grow and where the other ones grow, usually where these sort of mushrooms grow, there's a good chance you might find turkey tails where you're looking. So it's good, once you find one, find some, even though they're not real turkey tails, to look around and see if you might find some in the growth that you're in, because you never know. So I'm gonna look around here a little more, and then I'm gonna continue on. Here's another log, again, a turkey tail sort of look-alike, but not a turkey tail. See if I can get you to focus on that. You see that? That's not a polypore. It's got those little fibers coming out the bottom. And so it kind of has a turkey tail-like appearance, but the underside is the key. No polypores. The polypores will be like round little holes, round little exits where the pores fall out of. This is not a polypore. But again, it's got this whole turkey tail appearance that can fool people. Okay, so I came out here and wanted to check on the beehive, the tree I was telling you about, that we had found a hive inside of a tree. And my neighbor this spring came out and he put a hive box here to see if he could capture a swarm, and baited it the way he needs to bait it and left it out here. We checked out on it a few times throughout the summer and spring, and nothing ever happened with it. Well, I came out here today, and this is what it is now. A bear found it. And yeah, I guess it could be a raccoon that destroyed it. But I think it's a bear, number one, because I did have a deer feeder out that way a little ways, and it got destroyed a couple years ago by a bear. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is that bear are often sighted in a field down here. And so I know there's a family of bear living on this side of our mountain. They come up here often. The neighbors have seen them, and they usually get them on deer camera pics and things like that. So I know there's bear in the area. And then there's this. But you know, the most telltale sign that I think this is a bear is the hive. So the tree is right here. You can see that little dark hole down there where my finger is. That is the entrance to the hive. And right above it, a whole bunch of bark has been scraped away. So it's like the bear found the hive, and he climbed up the tree and scraped down the bark. He was trying to get to the hive. And if you look, you probably can't tell here, but up here there's another big scrape mark that the bear left. So I guess he climbed the tree trying to figure out any way he can to get down, because I think that hive runs all the way up this trunk. I'm pretty sure, based on our examination of the hive we did last year. So let's go down there and see how the bees are doing and if the bees are still in there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my friend that his hive is kind of wrecked. All right, let me head down this little bit hill here. Interestingly enough, my friend who lives next door, the property next door, a couple of his hives were attacked this past year, also by a bear. And so we know there's bear in the area. So here's the hole of the hive, and you can see the comb, the honeycomb. Oh wait, there's a bee right there at the entrance. Look at that. It's coming out to see what's what. So I guess the bees are still alive in here. The bear didn't get the bees. Yeah, you can see a couple of them moving around. It's way too cold out here for them to go out, venture out too far, and to get angry at me for being so close. I can smell the honey. That's crazy. Yeah, I can smell the honey. There's honey in there, boy. And that's what the bear was smelling. I can smell it. I can smell the honey. So, yeah, interesting. But this bark was here last time we ventured in, and so I don't really see any claw, distinctive claw marks. It looks like something was scraping down this way here. But this bark is all gone. So this, and just based on how I examined this before and looking up that hole, I think the hive runs up this trunk here. I don't know if it runs up the other one, this trunk here, but I know just from examining this before that I think the hive runs up this way. And so maybe the bear was trying to do what he could do to get up there. And I know you probably can't tell with the lighting and everything, but there's more scrape marks up there. So I think the bear climbed all the way up there trying to get at this hive. Really pretty cool. So you never know what you're going to see when you come out here. Just real quick note of mention. You know, I started running around the woods by myself. My parents let me run. I lived near a golf course. I think it was called the Quail Creek Golf Course in South County, St. Louis. And it's got a lot of woods around that area, and I ran around the woods myself. I think I started running around the woods. My parents let me run around probably around by age 10. My oldest is age 12. I will not let him run around the woods yet. Number one, when I was running around the woods where I grew up, we didn't have bears and mountain lions. Out here, we have seen mountain lions on game cameras. We know there's bear in the area, so I tell them sorry. But they're itching. Every year they're asking, am I old enough? Am I old enough? My kids want to run around the woods by themselves. No. I think they'll be old enough. I'm not sure when. But they will definitely be old enough to run around these woods when they're old enough to carry a gun without supervision. And, you know, my oldest is definitely approaching that time in his life. But, you know, there are things out here that can hurt you, you know, and I don't go anywhere without my Glock. So, I mean, it's just the reality of where you live in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. You know, we live really as far out as you can get, you know, in the Ozarks. There's no cell coverage out here, no cell towers. You know, cell services. You can at some places you can like hold your cell phone up and maybe get a bar or two to put out a phone call. But there's not a lot of, I think the closest cell tower to us is about 10 miles away, maybe 8 miles away. So we're really pretty, you know, rural here. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. That beehive right there, they are still alive in there. But really interesting to see. Here's another one of those trees with those growths I was showing you earlier. You can't see it up there, I know, but it's just covered in them. And it's starting to die because it's dropping its branches now. And look at the branches. They're covered with them too. So that piece broke off. Huh. Yeah. But this is just covered with them. So I don't know what kind of fungus that is that's doing that. And again, people keep telling me that it's worth money. I don't know why, if it's medicinal or what, but someone out there hopefully maybe will know. Well, I think I've looked everywhere I'm going to look today, so I'm trying to go methodically around land to check areas for the turkey tail. And you discover other things along the way, obviously. But not a whole lot found today. I'm hoping that by inoculating a bunch of trees and logs with the plugs that I've ordered for the turkey tails and other mushrooms, that it'll help increase the spores that are in the area, and then that'll, you know, eventually help, you know, populate the area with more of those certain types of mushrooms. But yeah, it's always fun to go for a walk in the woods, right? No time wasted there. All right, guys, see you next time on the homestead.